Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Be seated, please. Takulandirani, tathokoza. And may I now recognize on a member who is the commissioner, seasoned politician, George Zulu, Lilongwe City West. May you ask a question, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, for giving me the chance to ask the supplementary question. But my supplementary question will be based on the policy. But before that, I would like to thank the people from my constituency, especially the senior chiefs who are in public gallery, from Tandile, Siriza, Mwenera, Chirota, Munzu, Chimombo, for coming to witness the parliamentary proceedings. In fact, these people have come here around the 9 o'clock. I also missed the time. I was thinking that parliament was going to start around 9:30 today. But that has given us the chance to interact more with the chiefs from my area. So we had the chance to tour the parliament, to visit the mausoleum of the late Kamuzu Banda. May his soul continue to rest in peace. So the delay to start the parliament at this hour, it has given us the opportunity to interact more with the chiefs from my constituency. So mafumu, ziko mwambili mwanawalu ndili pano, sabalu ndigeno nshida mu parliament imene mnantumira. My policy question is on the network, especially the Airtel. For the past almost a year, we have been experiencing too much interruptions. We cannot start a phone call for a minute or two without being interrupted. Sometimes it just become quiet while the airtime is being consumed. I would like to find out, as a ministry, what are you doing? Because it looks like now the Malawians have been robbed of their data. They have been robbed of their airtime because of the interruptions which are consistently coming up when we are making phone calls, especially the Airtel network. Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. Sir, thank you.
Thank you very much, the people of Lilongwe City West. Mulanje West, and the minister will respond. Mulanje West.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, for giving the people of Mulanje West a chance to ask a supplementary question to the minister responsible for information. First Deputy Speaker, my question is a policy one. It has to do with dropped calls. I just wanted to know as to whether the dropped calls that most Malawians are complaining about are due to inefficiencies of the towers that we have, or it is the incompetence of the network providers, because almost everyone in Malawi is complaining about dropped calls. First Deputy Speaker, a dropped call is an ongoing phone call which is unintentionally disconnected, not by either party hanging up, but due to technical issues. So these technical issues cannot be blamed on the subscriber, but to the network provider. So I just wanted to know from the minister as to whether these dropped calls are rampant in Malawi due to inefficiencies that come with the network towers, or it is the network provider that is at fault. Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, the people of Mulanje West. Minister of Information and Digitalization.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. Allow me, through you, to thank the Honourable Member for Lilongwe City West for the supplementary question, in which he is lamenting that we've been having some interruptions in connectivity in the past year or so, and he would like to find out what we are doing as a ministry.
Let me begin by admitting that indeed we've been having those challenges.
And as a ministry, I did personally engage the operators to seek an explanation on those challenges. There are several factors that led to those interruptions, and sometimes they can still emerge. One being of vandalism, that the country does still experience vandalism of our fiber optic cables. And whenever there is some vandalism, you find that there is a shutdown in network connectivity, but also the routes through which these companies, these providers connect to the internet capacity. We have one route that was highly relied upon, that is the Mozambique channel. And since we had those post-election problems in Mozambique, we found that interruptions on the network capacity coming towards Malawi was also affected in some cases. Airtel has reconnected to another route, that is now the Tanzanian route, which is a backup. And in total, they have 3 routes of source for the source of their capacity. And we have been assured that with the introduction or the onboarding of capacity from these other routes, we should not continue to experience those problems. We are still monitoring after they gave us those assurances. Mulanje West, on dropped calls, indeed, we have been experiencing dropped calls, not only now, but even in the past, this has been happening. And there are a number of factors that the operators would attribute the dropped calls to. But as a ministry, as government, all we need to do is to make sure that we put punitive measures against the dropped calls, because a dropped call is a cost on the consumer. And currently, the regulations that we have under the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority do not provide for punishments towards the regulators whenever there is a dropped call. What we have is probably just a way of monitoring how many dropped calls have been there, but after we've gathered all that data, the regulations do not provide for punishments towards the operators. Currently, the regulations are being revised, and a high recommendation is that the regulations should include punishments to the operators for any dropped calls. First Deputy Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Information and Digitalization.
Government business bills. Second reading, Bill number 1 of 2025, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center.
Honorable Government Chief Whip, you see you standing.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. This bill was left at debate stage, but we had actually were winding up debate. So this bill was left at debate stage, and at that point, when we suspended the bill, we were actually, the minister was supposed to wind up the debate. So since that wasn't captured, I would like to move that debate be curtailed in order to allow the minister to wind up. Thank you.
Honourable members, there's a motion that a debate on the bill be curtailed in order that to allow the minister to wind up. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honourable Minister of Legal Affairs. Minister of Justice, rather. Minister of Justice, sorry, Minister of Justice.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker. Let me wind up debate by saying that I'm very grateful for the way the bill was supported by the whole House. The spokesperson for DPP, who is honorable member for Mulanje West, spoke in support of the bill on behalf of the DPP. Spokesperson for UDF, honorable member for Zomba Ntonya, also spoke in support of the bill and applauded the proposal to make the center a semi-autonomous body with the legal personality. The chairperson for Trade, Industry and Tourism presented a report of the committee in support of the bill, but with amendments which were agreed during consultations. And the honorable member for Mwanza Central also spoke in support of the bill. First Deputy Speaker, I now beg to move that the bill be read for the second time. I beg to move.
Honourable members, there's a question that Bill number 1 of 2025, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center, be read for the second time. Those of the opinion say aye. Aye. And those of the opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Committee stage. Bill number 1 of 2025, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center.
Members, we now go to committee stage and therefore invite the people of Chiladzuru West, chairperson for Parliamentary Committee of Health, to come and chair committee stage. Let's all stand, please.
Honourable members, welcome to the committee stage of Bill number 1 of 2025, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center. I wish to inform you that the Chair has received proposal amendments to the bill. I will therefore recognize the honourable members to move the amendments at an appropriate time. For now, clauses 1 to 3 has no amendments, but we have amendments from clause number 4. Clause number 4. Honourable members, on clause number 4, clause 22 be amended The honourable member members, clauses number 1 to 3 have no amendments, and I therefore put the question that clauses number 1 to 3 stand part of the bill. Those that have an opinion to say aye, and those who have a contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the 3 stand as part of the bill. Now, clause number 4 has an amendment. Clause number 4, part 1, be amended by inserting immediately before the word schedule the word first. I therefore recognize the Honourable Chairperson for the Industry and Trade and Tourism, Honourable Paul Nkoma. Honourable Paul Nkoma. Or is there any member of the committee who can? Okay. Is that the Vice Chair? Yes, Honourable Member.
Honourable Chair, clause number 4.1 be amended by inserting immediately before the word schedule the word first. Clause number 7.1 be amended by deleting in clause 7.1a the words as has not received a pardon, and deleting clause 7.1d, e, f, and g, and substituting therefore new clauses as 7.1d and e. D is a public officer or holds a political office. Clause 17.3 be amended by deleting the words statutory corporation and substituting therefore the following new words: the government department responsible for human resource management and development. Clause 72, Honourable Chair, be amended by inserting immediately after subclause 2 the following new subclause 3 as follows: 3, every member of the center; B, member of the committee of the center; C, member of the staff of the center or person co-opted to attend a meeting of the center pursuant to section 11, shall, upon assumption of his or her office or before attending the first meeting, take an oath or affirmation.
Honourable Member, yes. You are supposed to comment on clause number 4. Don't go further than that.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. To avoid confusion, because you went overboard, can you please come up again and present your amendments to clause number 4? Honourable Vice Chair.
Honourable Chair, clause number 4 be amended by inserting immediately before the word schedule the word first. I beg to move.
Honorable members, if no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that clause number 4, as moved by the Honorable Vice Chair, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the clause is amended accordingly. Honorable members, I wish to inform you that so far the Chair has not received any notice of proposed amendments to clauses number 5 and number 6. So if no one wishes to speak, I now put a question. That the question is that clauses number 5 and 6 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. Honorable members, clause number 7, part 1, has amendments, and the Vice Chairperson is being invited again to pronounce the amendments. Honorable Vice Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, clause number 7.1 be amended by deleting the clause 7.1a, the words "and has not received a pardon," and deleting clause 7.1d, e, f, and g, and substituting therefore new clauses as 7.1d and e. D is a public officer, or E holds a political office. I beg to move.
If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that clause number 7, as moved by the Honorable Member, the Vice Chairperson, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. I now put the second question. The question is that clause number 7, as amended by the House, stands part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. I wish to inform you that so far the Chair has not received any notice of proposed amendments to clauses number 8 to 16. So if no one wishes to speak, I put the question to you. The question is, clauses 8 to 16 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. Yes, Chair. What is out of order?
Yeah, clause number 4, as amended by the Vice Chair, you did not read it for the second time that it should become part of the bill.
All right. Thank you so much for that correction. we shall go over it and make sure that it is read. Thank you so much, Chair for Natural Resources. I now put to the House that clause number 4 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. And therefore, clause number 4 stands part of the bill as amended. Honorable members, clause number 17 has amendments, and the Vice Chair again will take us through the amendments. Vice Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, Clause 17.3 be amended by deleting the words statutory corporation and substituting therefore the following new words: the government department responsible for human resource management and development. I beg to move.
If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that clause 17, as moved by the honorable member, the Vice Chairperson, be amended by the House. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. And therefore, the ayes have it, and the motion is moved. I now put the question, the second question. The second question is that the clause as amended by the House stands as part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. I wish to inform you, members, that so far the Chair has not received any notice of proposed amendments to clauses number 18 to 21. If no one wishes to speak, I now put a question. The question is that clauses 18 to 21 stand part of the bill. Those of opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. I have received amendments to clause number 22, and therefore I call upon the Vice Chair again. I now recognize the Vice Chairperson to make the move for the proposed amendments. Go ahead, Vice Chair.
Honorable Chairperson, Clause 22 be amended by inserting immediately after subclause 2 the following new subclause 3 as follows: every member of the Center, member of the committee of the Center, member of staff of the Center, person co-opted to attend a meeting of the Center pursuant to Section 11 shall, upon assumption of his or her office, or before attending the first meeting, take an oath or affirmation of secrecy in the forms set out in the second schedule. I beg to move.
Thank you very much. If no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that clause number 22, as moved by the Honorable Vice Chair, be amended by the House. Those of opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. Which one? I now put the second question, and the second question is that the clause as amended by the House stands as part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. Honorable members, there is no amendments for clauses number 23 to 25. I now put the question that the clauses 23 to 25 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the motion is carried. I now recognize the Vice Chair again, because the schedule to the bill has been amended, and therefore the Vice Chairperson will take us through the amendments.
Honorable Chairperson, the schedule of the bill be amended as follows. A, in the title of the schedule, by inserting immediately before the word schedule, the word first. B, insert the second schedule as follows. Second schedule. I beg to move.
Honorable members, if no one wishes to speak, I now put the question. The question is that the schedule be amended as moved by the Honorable Vice Chairperson. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the schedule is moved. I now put the second question, and the second question is that the clause, the schedule as amended by the House, stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and therefore the schedule is carried as amended. Yeah. Honorable members, this marks the end of the committee stage of the bill number 1 of 2025. I thank you for your active participation. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Bills. Report stage. Bill number 1 of 2025. Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center.
Honorable Minister of Justice, reporting.
Yeah, I beg to report, First Deputy Speaker, that the bill, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center, Bill 1 of 2025, went through the committee stage with amendments. I beg to report. First Deputy Speaker. And I beg to move that the bill be read for the third time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, I now put a question that third reading of Bill number 1, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property be taken today. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried.
Bills. Third reading. Bill number 1 of 2025. Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that Bill number 1 of 2025, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Bill, be now read for the third time and passed. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, an application that the Bill number 1, Companies, Registrations and Intellectual Property Center, be read the third time and passed. Those of the opinion say aye, and those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Therefore, the bill has passed. Congratulations, Honourable Minister of Justice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Honourable members, should we go for a healthy break or continue the bills? Honourable members, I repeat the question. Looking at your energy levels, very, very high, and the chair here, you can't ask. You can see by yourself. Should we go for a healthy break or continue? We continue. Honourable members. Honourable members, we now take a short healthy break. We come back after 30 minutes. So you went to school, you know mental arithmetic, you'll be able to compute what time to come back. Otherwise, house suspended.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.